Welcome back. My name is Annie Henderson. I'm a life coach here in North Texas, and we are continuing our series on the Wheel of Emotions. If you have been with us for this whole series, we've talked about anger, we've talked about fear, we've talked about disgust, sadness, and we're continuing on today with happy and what that entails. And look, I am the same color, so you're in for a treat. Stick around. Now, the whole reason that we have been diving into emotions is to expand our vocabulary. When we have a very limited vocabulary, then it stifles us. It cuts off our ability to communicate what's really happening in our mind, in our heart. So I want you, if you haven't seen this whole series, go back to dive even deeper. Check out Atlas of the Heart by Brene Brown, an incredible book. So let's go ahead and continue expanding and deepening our vocabulary when it comes to being happy and what that can look like and what new words we can use. In the previous videos, we've talked about the intensity level. When we choose certain words, it elicits a flood of chemicals and emotions in our body, whether it's negative or positive. So knowing that you have this superpower, whether it's unleashing them in yourself or in others, when you're communicating, when you're talking, when you're having important conversations, it's important to be aware of this superpower that you have. So with happy, let's jump over here to joyful. Notice how that feels. Notice how it has just a hint of difference between happy and joyful. Yes, they both kind of elicit this same response, but there's something different. So sit for just a second and notice what images it brings about, what memories flood your mind and your thoughts and your heart. And even going further and deeper into joyful, liberated. Wow. There's a lot to that word. Liberated, right? So if I'm talking to somebody and they're like, yeah, I'm happy. It tells a very different story and kind of limited versus I feel so liberated this month or this year or in this moment. Paints a completely different story. So think about a time when you've felt liberated, or maybe it's something that is in the near future for you. Maybe it's if I did this, I would feel liberated. Ecstatic. Instead of just happy, I'm ecstatic. Wow, what a picture that paints. And if you are a parent, I challenge you, or an aunt, uncle, whatever you are, play around with some of these and see what happens if you use words like ecstatic around your kids or something. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes we will cut ourselves off from certain emotions if maybe we are having conflicting. So maybe you're like, you know what? I will never feel ecstatic because earlier in the day I felt guilty or I felt irritated. So I feel like only certain people can use words like ecstatic, and that's not the case. So notice when you are cutting yourselves off from the full range of emotions that are actually available to you. So happy, this one is interested. Oh, I'm interested, right? That one gives me more of that feeling of curiosity, like, oh, that's so interesting. Like, I'm interested in that. It's an invitation. It's being open. It's tell me more. And going into that, oh, I'm amused. Like, oh, I'm amused. Let's talk more. Let's dive into this. When was a time where you felt amused? A different kind of feeling than just happy. And again, there's nothing wrong with happy, but some of these other words paint a more descriptive picture of what you actually mean. Inquisitive. Oh, I'm interested. I'm inquisitive. Like I'm interested. I want to know more. So whether it's a passion, if it's a hobby, if it's a person, right, that makes you happy, or a topic and you become even more inquisitive, knowing And noticing that and using certain words like these. Next up is proud. Oh, I'm not just happy, I am proud. Yes, I'm happy with my life, but I'm proud of what I've done. I'm proud of my child. I'm proud of my family. I'm proud of my new exercise routine, my healthy choices. Noticing how proud makes you feel and where you feel it. For me, I feel it right here across my chest. And going deeper, important. Oh, maybe I feel proud and maybe I feel important to my kid or to my clients, or an important sense of purpose. And I want to pause really quickly because again, we can cut ourselves off. Some people have this strong sense of purpose. Some people don't. And it doesn't mean that there's not purpose for you. Sometimes it's hard to identify, and it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you or you're doing anything wrong or that you're not just as worthy and important as others. But being open. So if you constantly declare that, oh, that's good for you, but that's not me, that's not my life, then of course you're going to limit yourself. So just being open. Being open. What would I like to be proud of? If I did something, how would it make me proud? And when it comes to purpose and passion, it's different things for different people. Some people, it's all about animals. Some people, it's other people. Sometimes it's your family or volunteering or whatever it is. But it's unique to you. We need everyone to do their own purpose. Otherwise, if everyone did the same thing, we'd have some serious gaps. So noticing and give yourself, right? Ease up. Next up is confident. So sometimes when we think of confident people, we might think of maybe a certain celebrity or someone that everyone knows, right? If I think of Oprah, she seems like a very confident person. Some of you might think of me as a very confident person. If I look at someone else that I think of confident, then, right, when we can compare, comparison is the thief of joy. So when we do that, confidence can be in a certain area, right? It can be a certain topic. I'm confident that I can be there for this person. I'm confident at my ability to parent in this way. I'm confident in my financial abilities. So noticing, you don't have to be 1000% confident. You can be confident in certain areas. And when you can be confident in certain areas, you can take that feeling and notice how it feels when you are confident about something. Maybe it's, I'm so confident when I make this specific meal that everyone will love it. And then borrowing that feeling and applying it to different areas and just seeing how it feels, because you know how it feels to be confident in this one thing or in your past. So knowing that you have access to that. All right, next up is accepted, right? I'm happy because I feel accepted in this group, in this church, in this online forum, and how that feels for you. And then even more granular, I feel respected. So not just accepted, I feel respected. Paints a completely different picture. Think about a place where you feel respected. And if you don't, notice, am I wearing a mask? Am I pretending to be someone else so I don't even have the chance to be respected? Am I having assumptions that I'm not respected or accepted, but these people haven't even gotten a chance to know the real me? Am I looking for something in places that I'm not going to get it? And if that's you, if you feel like there's no safe space for you, then I want you to personally invite you to come and join us over on TikTok Live at 3 p.m. Central, Monday through Friday. It is a safe space to practice boundaries, to ask hard questions, to take off that mask for a little bit so you can breathe and be your authentic self, no matter what feelings are coming up for you. And if you would like some one-on-one coaching, just go to my site, anniemhenderson.com, and sign up for a consultation call, one-on-one with me, where you can have complete privacy and confidentiality. I'm here for you. Also with accepted is fulfilled. Ooh, I feel fulfilled with what I'm doing, with what I'm saying. I'm not hiding a piece of myself. Notice if that's something that you have or something that you're yearning for. Is that something that might be missing from your life? And it might be something that you're like, ooh, if I did this, I would be fulfilled. Or it might be, I don't know what it would take to feel this way. Also with happy is optimistic. How are you? Are you a pessimist? Are you an optimist? Are you a realist? And notice, think of people in your life that are optimistic and how that feels, how it feels to be around them, right? Do you question them and their sincerity? Do you feel like they're toxic positivity? Or is it something that you wish you had more of? How does it feel when you're around a pessimist? How does it feel when you're around a realist? Sometimes we have thoughts about certain things, but they might not even be your thoughts. It might be something that you heard from your parents or grandparents or someone that you work with, and it's not your true feelings about this. It's just been handed down to you. And know that you have the ability to unlearn and relearn. But notice how you feel. And then inside of optimistic is inspired. Oh, I'm inspired to make healthier choices. I'm inspired to change my life. I'm inspired for the next 5 minutes. So what inspires you? If I'm saying anything, definitely hit pause, jot it down, because I know we're going through a lot of stuff. So you might need to come back and rewatch this and see what catches on to you, but jot some notes down, because I do want you to think about this and process this. What inspires you? If nothing is inspiring, you might have to go back a decade or two, or when you were younger, or try something new. Just because you're not inspired currently doesn't mean you have to keep living in this same routine, this same loop. You are the architect of your life. You can choose differently at any time. Open. I love open. If you know me, then you know open and curious are some of my favorite words. Open. So even the posture of open, right? If your posture is open, it signifies one, kind of a confidence. Also I feel safe and secure. Because if we think of the caveman days when we had to protect ourselves from attacks, one reason why you have to be careful about being on your phone too much is it creates this closed off posture, and it signals to our brain that we might be vulnerable to attack or fear, or we're worried about something. We're anxious and insecure versus being open. So you might have to prompt yourself, put it in your calendar or on your alarm for a little reminder to check your posture, because it has more impact than you think. So be open to trying new things, open to meeting new people, open to new hobbies. Do you consider yourself open? Next is intimate. Happy, intimate. So intimate can also be playful, right? Playful. And it can be playful with someone that you're intimate with. It could be like playful with friends, right? Notice how you are when you meet someone for the first time, and you might have your walls up a little bit, versus when you can get to this relationship and comfortableness where, we can be playful with each other. A lot of adults have gotten to a place where they are no longer playful. They don't know how to have fun. Maybe a little too serious. So if you can have open and playful a little more in your life, I promise things can start to shift. Intimate, also sensitive, right? You're sensitive to another person, but not in a bad, fearful, sad, angry way. Sensitive. Notice how that's a little different. Next up is peaceful. Happy and peaceful. Those are a little different. Someone that's happy in the moment isn't always at peace. When was the last time you felt peace? And it could have been for a moment. It could be around a certain person. It could be that is your way of life now. So peaceful, going even further, hopeful, right? Oh, I'm hopeful about the future. I'm hopeful about, some of you have reached out to me. I'm hopeful about working with Annie and making some shifts. Notice how that feels and where you feel hopeful in your body. Loving. This might be my favorite row. Happy, peaceful, hopeful, loving. Loving. Loving can be, I feel loved. I feel loving to others. Loving is very different from fear. And I really think that we can break down life into I'm acting out of a sense of love or acting out of a sense of fear. So check in with yourself throughout the day. Is this idea or is this thought coming from love or fear? All right, the last one. This is a longer video than usual. The last one today is powerful. Ooh. So not just happy, but I feel powerful, and not in a controlling, domineering way, but I feel powerful because I have choice. I have control over myself. No, it's not powerful as in I'm trying to control and manipulate others. But if my family, if this friend, if this person is not treating me in a certain way, I have the power to choose to excuse myself. They can have their opinions. You can have yours. Neither side gets to control the other. Provocative. Provocative. What does that bring up for you? So some of these words we might have associated with a different area completely. What does provocative bring out for you? And then finally, courageous. Ooh, having courage. Courage to change things. Courage to change your mind. Courage to change your life. For those of you who don't know me very well, I used to be a massive people pleaser. I was married. I got married at 19. Who knows? Who knows what was going on in my little undeveloped brain? And many people do it, and it's the right decision, right? And more power to you. That's amazing. I didn't know who I was at all. I was a massive people pleaser. And had my kiddo at 26, got divorced at 27, and still was struggling with people pleasing. But I came out and I did have to be courageous in terms of changing things. And did I think I was courageous at the time? No. So don't feel like you have to feel all of this courage to make a change. It's not the case. Sometimes there's this silent courage and this knowing. And the first step for everything is an awareness. Sometimes it's just starting with a simple awareness that this is not it for me. As much as I love this person, that idea of a conscious uncoupling. A conscious uncoupling means I don't have to hate you. Nothing has to go wrong. But I have an awareness about myself. I have this realization. And it's not fair to either of us if we stay in this, ignoring the truth and shoving down thoughts and feelings. So whatever your truth is, it is never too late to change. And it doesn't mean you're a bad, horrible person just because you have learned new things about yourself. You can do that at any age. And if you need someone to talk to, just reach out. I am here to talk. Go to anniemhenderson.com and know that I have a safe space for you to be able to share and to open up. No matter what state or country you live in, it is an option to reach out to me. I hope this was amazing. We only have one of these sections left. If you haven't gone back and watched the rest, definitely check it out. Loved matching today. It was unintentional, but I loved it. So play around with these new words. See how it feels. coming off the tip of your tongue. See how others react to some of your new vocabulary, being more descriptive. When we don't have to make assumptions because our vocabulary is a little more expressive, it can help in so many ways. Thank you for joining me today. You are amazing. You are worthy just as you are. Come and join us over on TikTok or Facebook and leave me a comment. Let me know what you're taking away from today's video. And I will see you back here next week.